Beauty can be a dangerous thing. The promise of exploring a world rich with the fruits of artistic expression can lure the unsuspecting into a visually impressive but fundamentally lacking wasteland. Thankfully, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, doesn't have any such problem. While the enticing atmosphere serves as the most obvious reason to keep playing, it's the rhythmic combat that keeps you fully engaged. There are some pitfalls, such as camera issues and repetitive enemies, but those are small issues in a game brimming with excitement. El Shaddai, the Ascension of the Metatron, uses its beauty as just one part of the experience, not just a crutch holding everything else in place, resulting in an enticing adventure that satisfies on many fronts.
Enoch, you must return the fallen angels to heaven.
The story is based on ancient Judeo-Christian texts, and it can be tricky to understand if you're unfamiliar with the source material. You play as Enoch, scribe for the elders, and you have to ditch your pen for a sword to round up a group of fallen angels before God floods the world. The events and characters may go over your head, but the storytelling is quite interesting. Using a combination of standard cutscenes mixed with gameplay sections that receive an expository voiceover, El Shaddai does a good job of changing how the narrative unfolds, which helps to maintain your interest.
No, haven't found it yet.
Even if you don't care a lick for the story events, you'll be hard-pressed to pull your eyes from the screen. El Shaddai is absolutely gorgeous. Each of the 11 chapters has its own art style, and seeing these abstract landscapes unfold is mesmerizing. The music does a great job of complementing the visual design. An assortment of styles keeps things fresh. So whether it's a tribal hymn or a rock anthem, you always have something pleasant to listen to. El Shaddai is much more than its fantastic atmosphere. This is a combat-heavy adventure, and achieving victory takes skill and precision. Your attacks are mapped to just one button, but you use this in a number of ways. For instance, if you quickly tap, you unleash a devastating combo. If you slow down your rhythm, you unleash a powerful attack that breaks your opponent's guard. Using timing to deliver the right attack, rather than different button combination, gives battles an enticing flow that is both empowering and engrossing. Along with your fists, you have 3 different weapons to play around with. The Arch and Veil are both melee weapons, the first being quick while the other is slow. The Gale is much different. This is a long-range attack that doesn't do as much damage, but is great for creating some breathing room. You switch between weapons by stealing them from stunned opponents. This means you have to be careful what you wrestle away. You don't have the option to switch to your favorite weapon at any time, so you have to make smart decisions when you want to weaken an opponent by taking their weapon, and when you just want to fight them at their strongest. Problems do crop up after a few hours of wailing away on enemies. Most of your foes have one of the 3 weapons, so even though they come in various shapes and sizes, they attack in the same basic styles. Although it's always fun to fight because of the tight controls and graceful flow, predictability does set in. Thankfully, the boss fights overcome this setback. Every one of the monsters you square off against requires a unique strategy to finish off. And figuring out how to strike them down makes you feel like a badass warrior when you finally come out on top. In other boss fights, you can be killed rather quickly. But instead of restarting, you continue on, with the story events explaining what happened to you. It's a neat way to handle combat because it introduces an element of uncertainty, since you aren't quite sure if you can win or not going in. Aside from combat, there are platforming sections. Navigating 3D space is tricky because the camera often makes it difficult to judge distance. There are also 2D portions that are much more entertaining. These are fairly basic, but sharp controls make it fun just to run through these beautiful environments. You can finish El Shaddai in about 8 hours, but it's worth going back. Once you unlock the harder difficulties, you gain new appreciation for the combat mechanics. Plus, a score attack mode gives you leaderboard challenges to strive for. These extras help extend the life of the game, but there's enough depth and excitement to make your first time through just as enthralling. El Shaddai Ascension in the Metatron is a delight to play, engaging your thumbs and your senses in one tidy package.